Next up, a fight between Ryan Connor and Owen Carr. Ari, both of these fighters, very high-level athletes.
Yeah, Owen Carr comes from Team Alpha Male. It's one of the best gyms in the world for little guys. And I think Owen's going to be calm, cool, and collected. He's got lots of experience training with the best guys in the world. He's going to understand standing and ground. This is going to be a great fight.
Now, on the other side, every one of Ryan Connor's wins has come via submission.
Yeah, so we can assume that he's going to go for a submission and he'll try and take it to the ground, and we'll see what happens.
Owen Carr versus Ryan Connor right now.
My opponent's name is Ryan Connor. I know he's a very well-rounded fighter. He's never been finished, and I look forward to finishing him.
My opponent's name is Owen Carr. I know that he trains down in the States with Team Alpha Male and Uriah Faber, so it should be a good fight. We're both pretty evenly matched, so can't wait.
My strategy is to go up there and perform as a martial artist and react to the situations that come. I'm ready for all areas of the fight, whether it be standing and banging, wrestling, or ground and pound.
My plan for this fight is to apply a lot of pressure and just break him and see what openings he gives me and take advantage of them and put him away.
My whole life I've been training for this fight. Calgary, I hope you're ready for a UFC caliber fight. I've been a martial artist my whole life, and I'm bringing the fireworks tonight. Don't blink.
My opponent might think I'm cocky. I know my teammates know I'm confident, and I'll be ruthless in the cage. Owen, I hope you're ready, but you're just another stepping stone to where I'm about to go.
This Hard Knocks fight is a professional bout in the 135-pound division and is brought to you by the Calgary Sun. And now, let's meet the fighters.
Coming down to the cage for this fight, Ryan Connor. And Jeremy comes to us out of Fit Plus Martial Arts and has been training for 7 years, a record of 5-2 as a professional. A very exciting fighter, a dynamic fighter, one that we're happy to have here in the Hard Knocks Fighting Championship.
There's no word that rhymes with boring that can be used to describe Ryan Connor's fights. It's one of the, he's a guy that always brings the pace. He's very fast. He's dynamic. His kicks and his punches when he's in the top position are always done. When they land, they have a snap, and you hear a crowd go, ooh, and that's the type of guy he is. However, he's the type of guy who also wins most of his fights by submissions because people are so afraid of his striking that they just get involved in grappling, and he said he's happy to be there.
Yeah, I asked him about Owen Carr, and he said, well, I know he trains pro killers every single day at Team Alpha Male, but he said that he might have a striking style that will combat that nicely, switching stances, a broken rhythm style that they work with at Team Alpha Male that might work very well against the striking of Owen Carr.
And Ryan Connor says, look, I'm going to keep pressuring him over and over and over again. He might train with these tough guys. Obviously, Alpha Male has these top fighters in the world training there, but Ryan Connor can compete with those guys. He is a top-level fighter. He is one of those fighters that comes along that has all the tools to make it in the UFC and beyond.
Now, historically, as far as Ryan Connor is concerned, the longer the fight goes, the worse it may be for him. He's only got 2 losses on his professional record, both of those coming by a decision.
Never leave it in the judges' hands. That's one thing that's been said from day one when it comes to mixed martial arts, really all combative sports. If you leave it in the judges' hands, it doesn't matter if you were the most dominant person in the fight. If you were just dominant at certain angles, and the judges from their angle don't see you landing, they don't see you being effective, you're going to lose the fight. So Ryan Connor says the lesson to be learned, never, ever, ever let it go to a decision.
So Ryan Connor steps into the Hard Knocks cage for the very first time. He will settle into the blue corner, and we get set to meet his opponent.
And his opponent,
back at Hard Knocks 43 for this fight between Ryan Connor and Owen Carr. As we see Owen Carr coming down to the cage now with a record of 5-3-1. He's been training in martial arts since he was 5 years old, Jeremy. This is a lifelong martial artist. He's training out of Team Alpha Male and moved down to Sacramento to train and to take
to a place where he's not the best guy in the room. The important thing is if you're ever the best guy in the room, you need to find a new room. You need to go to a place where you're the worst, because that's how you're going to get better. You're going to train against guys who beat you up, and that is going to make you the best fighter you can be.
Says his fighting style isn't much more than just trying to win the fight and trying to take the other guy out, and knows though that his opponent Ryan Connor is going to be a very tough guy to finish. Nobody's done it yet.
The one thing about Owen Carr and what he prides himself on is when he steps into the cage, he's no longer Owen Carr. He is a person who is just trying to say, hey, that guy across the cage for me is trying to hurt me, trying to stop me, trying to end me. And that's still the mindset he puts it in. He thinks it's a life or death situation when he steps into the cage. It's a strategy that can be both useful and detrimental. When you're in that mode, sometimes your emotions can get the better of you and they can take over in the fight, as happened in his fight with Mike O'Neill a couple of years ago, where a lot of the emotional stuff that he has happened in the cage took over the fight and ended up turning that fight into a no contest, even though he was doing very well in it. But if he can stay calm, if he can channel that energy, he has everything that he needs to combat against Ryan Connor.
Getting a final look over from our official Andy Soto outside the ring. Owen Carr getting ready to step into the hard knock cage for the first time. Now more conferring by our officials. Owen Carr ready to step in the hard knock cage, and here he comes, getting set to face off against Ryan Connor, a man who's won most of his fights via submission.
We take a look at the tail of the tape. Both of them have 5 wins on their career. Owen Carr a few more losses, including that one no contest that I was talking about. They both weighed in at the 135-pound weight class. Connor will have a little bit of a reach advantage, and is 2 years younger.
Now for our official fighter introductions, we'll head inside the cage to Doug Sinan.
And now, the official Hard Knocks fighter introductions. In the blue corner for Pro Code Coatings. He's 5 feet 2 inches tall, 5 and 2 as a professional, 26 years old and stands 5 feet 9 inches tall. He weighed in at 135 pounds. Fighting out of Fit Plus Martial Arts from Dartmouth, Nova Scotia. Please welcome Hard Knocks fighter, Ryan Connor! Corner for Courtesy Chrysler. He's 6'3" as a professional, 28 years old and stands 5 feet 7 inches tall. He weighed in at 135 pounds. Fighting out of Team Alpha Male from Sacramento, California. Please welcome Hard Knocks fighter, Owen "The Body" Carr. This bout will be contested under professional rules. The referee in charge of the Hard Knocks action is Mr. Adam Cheadle.
Adam Cheadle, our referee for this fight, as Owen Carr coming out for some last-minute instructions, but all of those were given in the locker room, ready to fight. Owen Carr coming out of the red corner in the red trunks, the black trunks out of the blue corner for Ryan Connor, as both of these guys look to take the next step up the ladder in their MMA world.
Nice high kick by Owen Carr.
Nice catch, and then a nice kick to the face from Owen Carr. Very quick pace for both of these fighters.
And Owen Carr able to come out on top of a butterfly guard in here for Ryan Connor, and you're going to look to try any time that Owen Carr looks to rotate or pass. Ryan Connor's going to launch that butterfly grip up, or butterfly guard up, and try and come through. Big swing and a miss from Owen Carr.
Carr on top of Connor, as you mentioned, in the butterfly guard. Now transitioning to a more traditional guard. Still got the one leg in. Carr trying to swarm out a punch, but quickly gathered up again by Ryan Connor.
Yeah, Ryan Connor's doing an excellent job of neutralizing the offense of Owen Carr. Now Owen Carr is grinding his head, and he's getting a warning from the official. That's again what we talked about, that urgency that Owen Carr has, that he wants to do everything he can to damage his opponent.
Carr on top of Connor, continuing to look for an opening. Connor again very effective in this guard of not allowing Carr to fire really any offense at this point beyond a punch or two. So far, Ryan Connor doing a good job of limiting the damage, but you can't just limit the damage, Jeremy. Being on top is valuable in the judge's eyes.
Well, and especially if you can spend 3 minutes and 20 seconds, which is what's remaining in this round on top. But it looks like Ryan Connor able to create some space, but Owen Carr again right back on top of him and keeping the pressure down. And now we see an attempt at a submission there. Owen Carr was able to catch that one. Oh, that was a kick normally reserved for when you let your opponent up, but that's another takedown by Owen Carr.
Yeah, another takedown there, trying to time that kick and catch Connor coming up off the mat, but Carr missing his target on that one.
2 minutes and 45 seconds remaining in this first round of 3 professional rounds. And again, you see Owen Carr in this top position. And Ryan Connor really has to have a solution for the swarming attack of Owen Carr, because every time he swarms him and he gets in tight, Owen Carr is able to secure a takedown, and now he has a top position guillotine. Doesn't have it locked in tight, but it is a dangerous position that Ryan Connor has to deal with.
Owen Carr continuing to work from the top. Again, just grinding his opponent down, staying tenacious. And Jeremy, it really looks like he's working this ground position. Connor trying to kind of take that leg out, take away any of the leverage he might have.
Well, anything that you can do to limit the damage that your opponent lands, but these are very damaging elbows. And again, you hear the crowds crying for up, and you got to watch those elbows because they're locating right near the back of the head of Ryan Connor, and that's the one place that you are not allowed to land an elbow.
Nice elbow there. And again, Connor trying to pop out the back here of Owen Carr. And now Carr landing a hammer fist to the side. Connor in a dangerous position there for hammer fist, but Owen Carr kind of off balance, not really able to drop a lot of weight there.
Well, you talk about the strategies. Owen Carr, it's not a very conventional position that he's in, but what he is doing is, first off, now he's isolating an arm, but secondly, what he's doing is he's making Ryan Connor carry his weight. And if you're carrying the weight of your opponent for the entirety of a round, it's going to tire you out. It slows you down, and that just is an advantage for Owen Carr. Big shots being landed now by Owen Carr. Referee right on top of the action. Ryan Connor still defending intelligently, trying to come through and maybe attack a single leg there just to stem the tide that Owen Carr is laying down right on his face.
Yeah, again, 40 seconds left in the very first round of 3. And Owen Carr doing a lot of damage here in the late stages of round 1 since this second takedown. Ryan Connor hasn't had much in the way of defense. Unlike the earlier position where he was limiting the damage from Owen Carr, this time Owen Carr doing a very good job of landing elbows, landing punches from unorthodox places, and doing a good job of getting him done.
It's always important to keep busy, and Owen Carr has kept busy the entire first round. This round's going to look very good in the eyes of the judges. Owen Carr trying to finish this one here with just short time remaining, trying to get the referee to step in, but the time is going to come right there, and Ryan Connor is going to survive this opening round onslaught, and you can see again Owen Carr right on top of his opponent.
So a rough round for that man, Ryan Connor, as he found himself on the bottom and facing some damage. Also a cut on the back of his head. Mike Short, our excellent cut man, in there to take care of that for Ryan Connor. One of the best guys in the business, Mike Short. Often he'll close up a cut and it'll be like it never happened in the first place. But Ryan O'Connor is going to need some work to do here, Jeremy, in the second round.
Ryan Connor really needs to keep this fight standing. If he lets Owen Carr take him down again, it might be the end of the fight. But again, you look at Owen Carr, he's very intense, and he needs to, again, he had a calming from his coaches, he needs to stay calm.
Round 2 action between Owen Carr and Ryan Connor about to get underway from Hard Knocks 43 in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. And these two fighters, a dominant round 1 performance from Owen Carr. Ryan Connor going to have to change up the game plan, can't really do much on the ground, but it looks, Jeremy, like he wants to go for the takedown right away.
Well, if he can end up in top position, he can do what Owen Carr did to him in round 1, which is just lay on top, obviously do some damage with some striking, but make your opponent carry your weight, tire him out. Now landing some knees to the inside thighs. Owen Carr holding onto this guillotine, not trying to finish it, but more trying to just stop and make Ryan Connor think about, you know, if you take me down, you're going to be in a bad position.
Connor trying to pop out, trying to work towards the back of Owen Carr. Eventually now does get him to the ground, but winds up in the full guard and now pops his head out of that guillotine position, but some big elbows coming from Carr from the bottom.
Well, and Carr, one of those guys who does not stop even if he's on the bottom, so you'll see a lot of elbows being thrown. He's going to be very aggressive. The danger in throwing an elbow like that is because your opponent couldn't isolate an arm. So Owen Carr, a veteran here in the Hard Knocks cage, he's going to make sure that he's being safe if he's going to throw these elbows.
So on top now is Ryan Connor, but Owen Carr landing the better part of the damage here in round 2 from the bottom with those elbows. Connor hasn't really landed much since securing this position, but as a guy who's won all of his 5 fights by submission, it could come any time where Carr is punching or throwing elbows and finds himself submitted.
Ryan Carr moves forward, trying to get to a good position, trying to posture up, but every time he does, he's eating an elbow or a back fist from Owen Carr. So Owen Carr doing an excellent job defending by being offensive in this fight. And now you see Ryan Carr pull out of the position because he doesn't want to be there, gets the side control, but eats an up kick for his measure.
Yeah, that's the second up kick that Carr has landed here. Last time he used it to transition into a position on top on the ground, but this time it's Connor continuing to hold that superior position, inside control now, although the one arm is a little trapped underneath the head of Owen Carr. No danger of a choke here yet, but Connor again looking to advance the position, looking to find a home, and you can see the blood pouring from the side.
Watch out, the anaconda choke is there. The anaconda choke is up. It's a position where you're basically now on top with that same choke position, and this is a little bit of danger. Now the grip is released, so the danger is at least gone for the moment. But Ryan Connor swarming on top was being sneaky. He was eating a few punches to try and secure himself a choke, and you could see the side of Ryan Connor's face is leaking pretty heavily.
So again, another elbow from the bottom, but Connor remains on top. And this often, Jeremy, I find is a troublesome position for judges, because they often reward position over work. And I'd suggest that since this fight got to this position, Owen Carr has definitely been the busier fighter, landing more damage, but still the position belongs to Ryan O'Connor, and the judges are normally quick to reward that.
And another up kick, and Owen Carr has to watch out because that was down, and Ryan Connor has a point here. That's the second time that he's been kicked in the head or in the face while he's actually a downed opponent. He got a heel in the side of the head earlier on that when he was down, and the referee didn't see it. That time he saw it, and we're going to get a replay of it right now. Here's the up kick as it comes through. His knee is still down, and there is basically a straight up kick to the head of a downed opponent, and Ryan Connor has every reason to be upset here, as he's going to get 5 minutes, up to 5 minutes to recover from the position.
Yeah, and you can see Andy Social taking a point away, and that could potentially be a massive result here in this fight, because of course Ryan Carr, or Owen Carr rather, won round 1 by our scorecards, but that takes that win away. That now moves that round into a draw, and now with Ryan O'Connor having spent the better part of Ryan Connor rather, trying to make him more Irish. Ryan Connor rather, trying to be, is coming in at this point, and the referee going to put him back on the ground.
That's an excellent job by the referee. Sorry to step in there, Ryan, but that's an excellent job because he's actually putting them back in the position that they were. many times you'll see fights will be stopped and then they'll get back standing, and you'll take away the advantage that Ryan Connor had at being on top. And now we see some good punches. That's a good first punch landed by Ryan Connor to do some damage to Owen Carr. Now a triangle position. This is very dangerous. Ryan Connor must deal with this, or Owen Carr is going to lock it in.
The one knee's not as far back on the neck as you would like, and now it's really tightened in here. Ryan Connor could be in trouble. Owen Carr with a triangle. Connor trying to roll out of it, but is unable to do so far. And now from a top position, trying to work that triangle. Connor flipping out of it, doing a good job of surviving. And here's some congratulations from the fans.
Well, now a guillotine being thrown on by Owen Carr, and he's trying to put the pressure down, attacking the legs is Ryan Connor, but from one submission to another, and he's able to get free. And I think Ryan Connor got some extra fans when that illegal kick to the head happened.
So again, now trying to stack up as Owen Carr looks to find an armbar submission. 3 submission attempts since restarting this fight just 45 seconds ago.
The continuity of Owen Carr is excellent. He's going from one technique to another, and every time his opponent stops a technique, he opens himself up for another. And what Owen Carr is doing here is, even if he got a point dock from him, he could technically still have an advantage, because if he wins this round would be considered the draw as the 9-9, and he still has a lead. But Ryan Connor needs to find some way to mount an offense against Owen Carr.
So Ryan Carr was on top for the better, or Ryan Connor rather, was on top for the better part of this round, Jeremy, but Owen Carr definitely the busier fighter from the bottom. So a very intriguing decision from the judges. Do they award busyness? Do they award attempts to finish the fight? Or are they going to award position? It's something we've seen go in both directions here in Calgary.
The other thing that comes into play is, as we take a look at the replay, here's that up kick again, and again, Ryan Connor was down. Stop having similar names, gentlemen. Ryan Connor was down when that kick happened. Here's another look at the triangle from top position. Excellent defense by Ryan Connor, going from position to position, trying to escape this triangle. But the other thing that happens is sometimes when a point gets deducted, some judges will give a straight up 10-8 score. So even though Owen Carr was busier and was more effective, sometimes that goes the other way. So that's why those penalty points are so dangerous. And you can see Owen Carr just pacing in the corner.
Ryan Connor being sent back to his corner by the official. As we get ready for the third and final round, they come out. And Ryan Connor calls for some applause from the fans, but turns down the opportunity to touch gloves with Owen Carr.
Well, sometimes when a guy kicks you in the face illegally, you don't necessarily want to touch gloves. And Ryan Connor right now has to feel that he's trailing this fight, even though Owen Carr had the point taken away. So he must be offensive. He must win this round to force a draw. And so far so good, as Ryan Connor pushing Owen Carr up against the cage.
Connor driving forward, trying to find a hole in the defense of Owen Carr, which has been very good to this point, Jeremy, of keeping Ryan Connor from doing much damage. Again, Connor 5 submission wins as a professional, and his 2 losses coming via decision.
Good single leg takedown there. He is in top position. Watch that foot in the hip of Ryan Connor, but Ryan Connor able to push through that. Now what Ryan Connor needs to do is he needs to get an offense going. He cannot let Owen Carr dictate the bottom. But for Owen Carr, he has to watch out that the dangerous submission game. He has to stay busy because he doesn't want to be in this position. However, he has to be careful about the submissions that Ryan Connor offers.
Another elbow from the bottom as Ryan Carr looks to find an arm for an arm bar. It does have one arm isolated. It's whether or not he can stretch it out or whether Connor can get it free.
Connor does get it free now, and he is on top of Owen Carr, where he spent the majority of the last now 2 rounds. But Owen Carr, the busier of the 2 fighters, like you mentioned, Ryan, the more causing more damage of the 2 fighters.
Reminds me back of a fight early in Hard Knocks between Keegan Oliver and his opponent Kennedy. Oliver was on top, Kennedy was the busier fighter, and Oliver won the fight by decision, just purely for having the better position. We'll see if that duplicates itself here tonight with Ryan O'Connor and Owen Carr. Again, looking for a triangle. Carr fires it on, big elbow, coming to try and soften him up, maybe try and find that arm isolated, but is unable to do so. And again, good defense from Ryan Connor.
Ryan Connor now trying to get to work, trying to get some offense. He has half a round to try and erase in the minds the position of Owen Carr for doing so much damage from the back. He's doing well here as he's isolating an arm. An arm is now trapped underneath the leg, but equally it pops up just as quickly as it was put underneath there.
Again, Carr trying to find an opening, trying to find an escape, but may have given up his back here. Jeremy rolled into Ryan Connor, who immediately throws on the body triangle and is going to try and spin in and get the back. Owen Carr, though, doing a nice job of getting away from it, but may have an arm in here. Ryan Connor looking for the arm bar. Owen Carr trying to dig out of it. He's got his other arm locked across it. It's just whether or not he can stretch him out.
When you look at the face of Owen Carr, he's in a lot of pain here. There's a lot of pressure being put on there, trying to put his mind somewhere else. Nice deep breath. Ryan Connor still working, has both the arms in there. So at any time if Owen Carr pulls one of the arms out, he's going to be in a lot of danger. So even though there's a lot of pain here for Owen Carr, he knows he has to keep both his arms in or he's in trouble.
Minute 23 to go. Ryan Connor has Owen Carr's arms in an armbar position. The pain relieving. Jeremy, you can see a little more of the forearm from Owen Carr has come out. The top of his arm has come out, so maybe not as much pressure as you might think. Some knees now to the back of Ryan Connor, trying to loosen that grip, loosen that position, and allow his arm to be free.
Still pressuring down. But look at Owen Carr landing from really strange positions, still landing from the side, dropping those knees to the side of Ryan Connor. And for Connor, it's almost like he has to give up this position to try and find a new one to be able to pull out the fight. But if Owen Carr can stay busy like this, it's really going to be one of those things. It's going to be a very interesting decision for the judges.
The pain evident on the face of Owen Carr from this angle as he tries desperately to free his arms from an armbar position. One is now out, and the other one now not in danger of that armbar, as now he will drop elbows and try and putting emphasis on this fight with just 10 seconds to go in the third and final round, trying to maybe find an arm submission of his own. No, just opening him up and trying to find damage punches and elbows. What a fight between Owen Carr and Ryan Connor. So both fighters put their hands up after this fight. This one could be our most interesting decision of the night, made even more interesting by a point deducted for an up kick to a downed opponent's face in the second round. Owen Carr having a point deducted here, and that could turn out to be the deciding point in a victory or a draw situation for Owen Carr.
We know for a fact that he won round one. We're pretty sure that he won round two. Ryan Connor may have won round three. So even if he won, it is going to be it'll be a draw. But if Ryan Connor was able to sneak out round two, it's going to be a very interesting decision. I don't envy our judges here. Then as we take a look at the replay, here's some of those unorthodox strikes from Owen Carr, and the look on his face when the pressure came from Ryan Connor on that double armbar. He had some great tenacity to be able to fight back and stop himself from tapping out to a dangerous position.
So the judges continue to do the math here at Hard Knocks 43 between Owen Carr and Ryan Connor. A very entertaining fight between what Owen Carr said was a UFC level bout. Hard Knocks 43 between Owen Carr and Ryan Connor. We await the judges' official decision, which should be in momentarily here, as we've got a point deducted from Owen Carr. We'll find out what the judges had to say right now with your official decision. Here's Doug Denance.
And now the official decision brought to you by the Calgary Sun. The winner by unanimous decision, In the red corner, Owen, the Body, Carr.
So Owen Carr, obviously the winner of all 3 rounds on the judges' scorecard to get the unanimous decision. He'll be center of the cage with Jeremy.
Owen, I'll get you here to the center of the cage. We'll have a quick chat. Obviously, it was not a purposeful shot in the second round, but you were able to come back and still remain busy while on the bottom. What does that do to a fighter when you get penalized with a point? Did that affect your game at all?
Yeah, man, it messed with me mentally. Like, this is my life. This is all I do. So I gave it out to you guys that came out, and you know, it sucks getting a point. I'm just fighting my heart out for everyone that paid money to come watch us fight. So, but I'm a fighter, so I just keep fighting till I hear the bell or the ref stops. So, thank God I got the win. You know.
You ended up being on the ground for the majority of the second and third rounds, but you stayed busy to the point where all the judges ruled that you were the busier and more dangerous fighter. Is that a staple of you, that you're going to be busy even when you're in a bad position?
Dude, I train at Team Alpha Male. For you, those of you that don't know, I'm getting my ass beat in the gym every day, 3 hours a day. This is just another day for me. Thank you for giving me the opportunity, Hard Knocks.
One more time, ladies and gentlemen, for your winner, Owen the Body Carr.
Owen Carr, your winner, Ari, in a very entertaining fight. And the thing that really stuck out for me was the tenacity that Owen showed from the bottom, landing punches, landing elbows, and landing knees while in an armbar. A very dedicated, energetic fighter.
Yeah, Owen Carr did not stop moving that entire fight, which was really what won him the fight. He was always going for a strike or a submission. I'd love to see him on the top a little bit more so that those fights aren't quite so close, but he was really amazing tonight.
And really did a good job of preventing Ryan Connor from having any kind of offense while on top.
Yeah, he seemed to be on the ground a lot, but when he was on the ground, he was being more offensive.